if you've ever tried to convince your wife that the smell of bleach is not that bad because it's pretty much the smell of money, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, guys. Thanks for tuning in. It's Sunday afternoon, sitting here at church. I'm about 30 minutes early for evening service tonight, and I just had to get out of the house because I was going to get sleepy and fall asleep. So I'm sitting here, nobody's here yet, drinking a NOS, and I just wanted to share a story with you guys. I don't know why I was even thinking about this earlier today. It just came across my mind, and I was like, hey, I need to do a video on that. So about 3 years ago, we were running the wash truck. I had that old Tundra that I had kind of thrown together, me and Dusty, and at this time we had another guy who's a buddy working with us named Mike, and we were rolling pretty good. You know, we had full weeks. We were doing about $4,000 to $5,000 a week, you know, basically every week throughout the year. And so we're doing really good. And I can't remember why. I think this was January, and so it was kind of a slow month, and we didn't have a ton of money in the bank. We had a little bit of money put back, and we had some. At this point in the business, we've got a bunch of months of success behind us. Well, this dude, and I'm going to splice in right here and let you see 2 images of his house. I had to go to Google and get a photo because this was a long time ago, and I have long since deleted any pictures I took of this project. So let me let you take a look at the house first of all. All right, so you saw the house there. Pretty good size place, right? Front and back. It's a good size house, and in a really nice subdivision up in Carrollton, Georgia, which is about 45 minutes north of us. And we've done a bunch of work in this subdivision, multi-million-dollar homes. We actually have the contract to go and clean their subdivision entryway every year. It's a big golf course. Me and Jonathan are going to go do that in the next few weeks. It's a really cake, easy $600 subdivision vinyl fence entryway, and we do that every year for them. So we've done a bunch of houses in this subdivision. They've got our number from their neighbors. We've stuck flyers, you know, throughout the neighborhood, and he gives us a call. So I remember the call distinctly. We're driving to another job. This was like a Monday, Tuesday, and this homeowner calls and says, hey, got your number or got your card, whatever, and we want to get our roof clean, okay? And I said, hey, I pretty much know what house you're at. Can you shoot me a text, a picture of your house, and I can give you, you know, we know the neighborhood really well. I can pretty much give you a price over the phone because we've done several houses in there. He said, yeah, that's fine. I'll shoot you a pic here in just a second. All right, 5-10 minutes goes by. We get a picture of that house, and I'm like, you know what? That's going to be about a $700 roof cleaning. I remember the price, and so we got him on the schedule. He said, hey, that's fine. That sounds good to me. And just whenever y'all can come out and take care of it. And he said this: I've got a few places on my fascia boards that have some green mildew on them. Could y'all knock that stuff off while you're out here? I said, hey, that's no problem. I said, yeah, we'll take care of that stuff. No worries. So yeah, it's just a couple places on the top, the front on the top of the gable, and it's kind of tall. I can't get to it. I said, yeah, we'll get you, brother. No worries. All right, cool. So that was a fatal error on my part right there. I'm gonna teach you new guys something that you have to do. It's not fun to do. It's annoying to do, and it takes time, but you better be doing this. So fast forward, I think a week, and we get out there the first of the next week, and we're pulling up to do the job. Sure enough, right house, roof's dirty, blah, blah, blah. Well, we get out, and the dude comes outside. Let's set the stage for you. He's about 55 years old-ish. You can tell he's successful, and he wants you to know it. He tells us, oh, yeah, I'm a real estate developer. I actually bought a lot of these lots in the subdivision and built them and developed them. You know, my house is the first house on this street that was built. It's the biggest house on this street. And he's telling me all these little things. And I'm like, okay, that's nice. You know, I don't really need to know all that, but I'm just feeling out the customer. And so we talked for 5 minutes, and while me and him are talking, Dusty and Mike, they're pulling out hoses, hooking up to water. And he said, yeah, so let me show you these places. What I want you to do is, of course, do the roof, and I want you to wash the whole front of the house. Come down this side. It's a brick house, but there's vinyl everywhere. Go ahead and do this side, and then around the back, there's a few places around the patio. If y'all could just go ahead and do that whole patio back there. And then I've got a brick retaining wall. It's got a lot of black algae growth on the side of it, black stuff growing. So just knock that off for me, and we'll, just let me know when you get finished. And I said, here's the moment where I could have went, 2 roads diverge in a yellow wood, and here I stand, and I'm like, okay, this is a $700 roof cleaning, and I've agreed to hit a few places on your gables for you. And now that just morphed into a piss ton more work. Like, you just doubled the scope of work here. And we're outside of knocking something off while you're here. Those are my favorite words. While we're here can be an upsell. Well, while you're here from the homeowner is, can I get a freebie, right? That language goes both ways. And so I said, well, hang on a second, sir. Let's understand that this is a lot of work. Let's walk around. I'm going to have to give you a price on all that. And it was offensive. He was offended that I was not going to just be like, okay, yeah, man, we'll take care of it and get my $700 at the end of the job. I said that quote was for the roof. And then you said we had a few little small things on the front gables. I was like, this is a lot more work. I said, we can do it. And I can do it for a good price while we're here, but we got to look at this. So he said, okay, well, all right. And he, I could tell he was visibly put off by the fact that I didn't go along with his little scheme. It was a scheme. It was a straight up scheme. He's trying to book a roof cleaning and get a free freaking house wash on this house. It's a big house, dog. So we walk around, and I'm telling Dusty I was like, hey, come here, let me tell you what this dude just said. And so we walk around with the homeowner, and I was like, man, you're looking about $1,300 here. Again, the house itself was brick, but we're washing on all 4 sides of this house now at this point. We're washing the front porch off. We're washing the back porch, which was covered and huge, pulling out all this furniture, surface cleaning. There's a brick wall. Now we've got a 3-man crew, and so we make quick work of it, but that's not the point. The point is that you've changed the game. Here's what I should have said on the phone a week ago. I should have said, yes, sir, we can handle that. We'll be glad to look at that for you when we get out, and I'll let you know how much that'll be. That's what I should have said. What I did is I got in the habit of good old regular folks, regular homeowners, not a regular person. It would have been some little small, hit it while you're there, and you literally added no work to the job. And sure, I'm not going to charge them for that because it took literally 10 seconds. If it takes anything past 2 minutes, that's a project. Like, I don't care how big or small a project is. I may not charge them if it's high ticket on the roof cleaning or whatever the reason is that we're out there. But this was a different story. This was literally, we would have charged an additional $700. That the price he was getting for the roof was kind of what I would have ballparked the other stuff at. So I was like, hey man, it's going to be like $1,350. And if I'm not mistaken, that is the number that we got on this job. And he said, now this is the funny thing. He's like, okay, that's fine. And from that moment, like, my heart's kind of sunk in my chest because we've drove all the way up here. We scheduled this job. We don't need the job. Like, we got, we're okay. I'm totally willing to walk away from a job. But at the same time, you don't want to walk away from, $700. In my mind, this was a $700 job, and we're out of here by lunchtime, and, it's a good start to the week. But now we're risking, by me saying this and holding my ground, I'm risking losing one of our days that I've got booked right now and losing $700. So I'm like, moment of truth. And I hold my ground, and the dude wound up being like super cool. He didn't say anything negative. He was like the nicest person. And then he said this, well, I'll tell you what, while you guys are working on the front, I'll go ahead and move all the furniture off the back for you. Completely flip script, 180. He just goes the opposite direction. So now I'm like, what kind of silly game is this? The moral of the story is, number one, there's a couple lessons learned here. Let me get me a drink. It's kind of that time of year where your throat's not hurting, but it's like, got phlegm in it. Number one, be very detailed in your pricing, your scope of work, what you're going to show up and do, and be very, very detailed. Anytime those, while you're here, freebies things come up or additional things that the homeowner requests, have a policy and stick to it. and you have a pricing schedule, and that's what you go by. That keeps you from getting out there and it being that funky conversation where you really don't have a standard response. And so if they're smart and schemy, like the Dark Knight Joker, they're schemers. If they're being like that, you're susceptible to just going along to get along, going along to not lose the money, especially when you're early out and you need every dollar you can get. So number one is be very detailed. Number two is just hold your ground. I mean, it literally freaking is what it is, guys. Like, it is what it is. I don't even like that saying, but it is. I mean, if I take my truck to the shop up here and I say, hey, I want the oil changed in my truck. What's the price? $50, right? Whatever. All right, well, hey, go ahead and rotate the tires, put me new brake pads and rotors on, and just let me know when we come back. We'll see y'all. That business owner is going to say, time out. That's more money. That's more work. That's more money. That's how it works in any other industry, any other business. Pressure washing and soft washing and roof cleaning and all that, it's no different, guys. So be detailed, be willing to say, I'm going to roll these hoses up and me and the boys will go find something else to do today. Because if you don't, you're going to mess yourself up right here. And then forever, you're going to be the guy that just gets your pricing, your profit margins, they're dictated by the customer. Not supposed to be dictated by the customer, it's supposed to be dictated by you, and then we'll let the market see if that's a good price or not. Hope you guys have a great Sunday, and we'll check in with you later. Next week, got a bunch of builds going out. We're probably going to go try to do that vinyl fence entryway, so we'll bring you guys along for the ride on that one. Really easy one to do, and we'll check in with you next week. See ya.